it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button because I bring you new DIYs, tutorials, and new inspiration every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today we're going to be working on some fall DIYs using inexpensive materials that I found at the Dollar Tree. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's get started with this first project. I have had this in my mind for a long time, but I've been waiting for the right products to come available at Dollar Tree. When I saw these thankful signs, I knew this was the item that I was waiting for to be able to create this. So these three say thankful on the front. We're going to cover those up though, but they have this beautiful buffalo check on the sides, which is going to be the side of our bud vase. So I think that's going to look really pretty together. So I have 3 of those. You'll also need 3 of these test tubes from Dollar Tree. They come in a set of 2, but we're only going to be using 3. You could use 4 if you would like. I also have my white chalk paint and a foam paintbrush. We're going to cover up the top of one of these signs with that. I also have my drill and a 1 1/4 inch paddle bit. However, if you don't have all of these supplies, you could also use an X-Acto knife and cut your holes out by hand. You'll also need some glue, so a hot glue gun. Dollar Tree has tacky glue, so you could use that, or you could use E6000. And then the other item that we're gonna need to create this is a ruler and a pencil or a pen, so we can mark where we're gonna drill our holes. And that's what we're gonna go ahead and get started doing, is marking our holes. We're gonna mark the middle and then 2 equal side holes and go ahead and drill those out. If you enjoy farmhouse style home decor and more DIYs, you can find those over on my social media pages, both on Facebook and on Instagram. I'll have those linked down in the description box below. Alright, so here is the idea behind this. This little opening here is going to hold our little test tubes in place. However, as you can see, these are longer and will sit up if we don't drill out another one of our signs here. That way, when these are stacked on top of each other, this will slide down farther in there, and then our test tubes will sit flush. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill another one of these. I marked these at, this is 12 inches long, so I marked it at 6 inches and then 2.5 inches in from each side here. So that's the measurements for our holes. Alright, so we have 2 of our signs cut with the holes in it now. I want to show you how we're going to put this together. We're going to flip one upside down here. That's going to be the bottom. And then we're going to layer these on top of one another like this. And that's how our little test tubes are going to slide into those holes. And to put that together, I'm going to use my tacky glue. I like this stuff because it gives you a little bit of glue time. So you can wiggle your signs around. You want to make sure you are lining up your buffalo check lines. So you don't want like crooked patterns. You kind of want it to look seamless. But before I go ahead and glue this all together, I'm going to use my white chalk paint here and paint the top of one of the hole signs white. Actually, I'm going to sand these down a little bit too, so these don't have these rough edges on them. And then I'm going to paint probably 2 or 3 coats of the chalk paint on top, just to give it more of a nice finish. All right, so here's all mine glued together, and you know, these are Dollar Tree items, so it's not perfect, but it's as good as I could get those. And then now I'm just going to be adding some of this jute to the top rim of these test tubes. Not only is it going to kind of cover up the lip on there, but it's also going to help these from just falling straight down in there. So I'm going to use my hot glue to do that. So just cut apart some cotton stems. That was from the Dollar Tree as well. And now I'm going to add this metal word. This is from one of the sets of 3 the Dollar Tree carries. I wish I had some foam tape to sort of make this stand up and out away from the front there. But I don't have any of that on hand. I have these glue dots from Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna kind of roll these up. That way they're not flat, and stick them on the back here, and then stick that onto the front. That will give it more of some depth instead of just sitting flat and sort of fading into the background. And now we're gonna work on our second project. This is gonna be a super cute farmhouse style pumpkin basket sign. So this sign is actually really cute from Dollar Tree, but we're gonna flip this over and use the back side. I also have this organizer basket from Dollar Tree. This was white, but I wanted it to have more of a fall look, so I painted it with this Krylon copper spray paint and gave it 2 coats of that, so it's ready to go. You could leave it white if you wanted, or you could paint it black. You could paint it oil rub bronze, so do what matches your decor. I really love the copper for fall right now though. I also have some jute, my white chalk paint out again. I also have my drill with a small drill bit on it. And then also this I used in a previous tutorial. This is a free printable that I have linked down in the description box below. So all you have to do is download this onto your computer and print it out. I've printed it out on some cardstock. If you missed my previous tutorial on the Dollar Tree project I used these for previously, make sure to check the link below so you can see other ways you can get creative with this printable. So to get started, I'm gonna use my drill and my small drill bit there to drill out holes in the front bottom section of this pumpkin because I want this basket to hang off the front. We're gonna use the jute to tie it on there. So I'm just gonna mark some holes and use my scrap piece of wood to drill some holes into this sign. All right, so I have my holes drilled. These are the ones that came with it. These are the ones that I drilled. They are about 6 6.5 inches down from the top of the pumpkin and about 2 inches in, and then about 1 inch apart. So I hope that helps. I'm gonna give it a coat or two, probably at least 2 coats of the white chalk paint. Alright, so I ended up just doing sort of a faux finished rustic look on this and just sort of rubbing in and brushing on lightly the chalk paint. That way you could still kind of see through. It kind of looks like wood is on the background there. So if you want to give yours a full coverage, definitely do the 2 coats. I really like the way this came out though. Really rustic, gives it more that fall look and a faux finish. Now we're going to move on to work on our little sign that's going to go on the front. This is the same technique I used in the last tutorial, where we used some coffee and some coffee grounds to distress the paper. So I'm just going to rip this out. I don't want it to look super nice and perfect. And I'm going to use the coffee. This is just regular coffee. And some coffee grounds, wipe it on, rub it in, make it aged looking before we add it onto our pumpkin. So while our little pumpkin sign is drying, I have this burlap from the Dollar Tree from their fall section, and that's what I'm going to add to the top here, cover up the stem. I'm going to use my tacky glue to attach it, and then I'll be cutting it out. So I saved the metal leaf that came off the front and used my copper spray paint to give that a coat so it would match the basket that's going to go down here. So I'm going to hot glue that on. I'm going to use my glue dots to attach my sign on here. And I'm going to use my jute to tie the basket onto the front using the holes that we drilled earlier. And for our last project, we're gonna make a fall sort of entryway tall style wood sign. This one's from their Halloween section. I really liked it because it has this like dog ear fence post sort of look to it. So we're gonna use the back and sort of mimic that and make it more fall. I also have my wood rulers here, And this comes in a pack of 2. We have chalk paint again, hot glue, and then I'm going to be using one of these. I think I'm going to use this leaf as my wood shape. That's going to go in our fall word. They also have these really cute pumpkins you could use too. So the first thing I'm going to do is start doing the same technique that I did to the pumpkin. I'm just going to sort of whitewash this sign so I can get that drying and we can move on to the next step. So for this sign, I wanted to add some detail to the top and the bottom to kind of give it a palette style sign look. So that's what the wood rulers are for. These, the color, the plastic just peels right off, and then I'm going to cut them down to size so that they're same width as our sign. I have my miter box and handsaw here. If you do smaller projects like this is so perfect. It's really, really inexpensive. I have it in my Amazon favorite store, and I'll link that down below if you want to check that out. I also get a lot of questions about my hot glue gun. I also have that in my Amazon favorite store, so you can click the link in the description box to learn more or to find those. But what I'm going to do is just peel the plastic off of the ruler and then cut 2 of them down to size. And then I'm going to give these sort of a faux wood finish. All right, so now that I have these cut down to size, I want to give all 3 of these, including the leaf, a wood stain look without the dry time. So I'm actually going to get that look using acrylic paint. This is Traditional Burnt Umber by Americana brand. And all you have to do is just put your paint on there and use a wet paper towel to rub this in like this. So you're not getting full coverage with the paint, you're more staining the wood with the paint. And because we're using acrylic paint instead of a wood stain, which takes several hours to dry, oil-based takes 24 hours to dry, this is only going to take a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do these pieces here, and then we'll come back and work on the rest. And now that these are dry, we're going to use the hot glue to place these on the top and bottom here. I've got my ruler to make sure that I get them both evenly spaced from the bottom up and from the top down. And now we're going to add our fall. I'm using Oracle Matte Black Vinyl number 651 for these letters. If you do not have a vinyl cutter, you can find these in my Etsy shop. I always like to put my decals in my Etsy shop if I can, and these will be at crossmyheart.com, so you can go check that out. I just did the F, L, and L because our leaf is going to fit in the middle here and be our A. And then I'm also going to ship them to you like this, so you can put these on however big a sign you want, so you can use whatever centerpiece you want, and that way there's not a space specifically made for this size of leaf. This one's 4 inches tall. My letters are 4 inches tall as well, if you want to recreate these. So if you do order these from my Etsy shop on crossmyheart.com, all you have to do is remove the top transfer sheet that is included with these decals. Take that off, put it where you want it, push it down, and transfer it onto your surface. I'm going to go ahead and do that step now. We're going to work on this leaf afterwards. So I'm just going to keep that handy for sizing purposes so I make sure I get my letters in the right position. So here are the decals all transferred. I like using centimeters on my ruler whenever I am positioning my decals because then you can really just get it perfectly straight and even. So if you're going to use that method, I did 3.5 centimeters down to the top, and then I did 4.5 centimeters from each side so that this whole thing will be nice and centered. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use my hot glue and hot glue my leaf right in the middle there. I so love the way this beautiful sign turned out. I think it's great that you could use 3 simple items from the Dollar Tree, a little bit of paint, and some decals to really give something more of a modern and custom look. Don't forget to check the link that I have down in the description box below to my Etsy shop, which is crossinmyheart.com, where you can find these decals to create your own fall decor projects. I hope that today's tutorial inspired you. Please give this video a thumbs up for me. Let me know down in the comments below what was your favorite DIY from this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I also have more tutorials in the link next to me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.